Oh, this one is cute. Let's keep him. Oh, come on! How can something so adorable be so terrible? You got car insurance, right?
From the moment the Sonic rings went around the Paramount Mountain, and then the next logo up was Sega's new movie logo with all kinds of different screens from classic Sega games, I had the feeling that I was going to be in for something special with Sonic the Hedgehog. And of course, this is a notorious film because the early trailer came out and everybody hated the look of Sonic the Hedgehog. And then the studio said, you know what, let's put the brakes on here and let's redo Sonic as a CG creation that's embedded into, a photoreal planet Earth. And let's do this again to make Sonic a much more appealing characterization, a much more familiar character to longtime fans of Sonic the Hedgehog from the video game world. And I got to tell you this, I love this movie. I thought it was absolutely terrific.
I was not expecting that.
This is the best movie based on a video game that I have ever seen. And, speaking as somebody that has been in the game and been into games for as long as I have, I've seen all of them, and I know that there's tons of fans for Detective Pikachu, and I know lots of you like the various incarnations of Tomb Raider and that Mortal Kombat movie from back in the day. And there's some fun in a lot of the movies that have come before this film. But this movie really hits all kinds of great notes.
Pretty impressive, Mr. Eggman.
First of all, it's really, really funny. The script is tight. The audience that I saw it with, which was comprised of a lot of families, this is a family-friendly movie, and I saw this with my daughter. People were laughing all the way through, and what surprised me is that it wasn't, just everybody leaning on Jim Carrey, who is obviously the big star of this film as Dr. Robotnik, but James Marsden has some great lines.
You shot me!
All right, I heard you the first time. You don't have to pile it on. Good grief.
Ben Schwartz, who plays Sonic the Hedgehog, is hilarious all the way through, and they give him lots of great stuff.
So, you're supposed to be Tom's best friend that he won't shut up about. Well, I don't see the appeal.
That is very gross.
I'm not going to spoil anything in this review, by the way, but it is amazing to see Sonic the Hedgehog leafing through the Flash comic books. It's just a great homage. And he is, got a real nice heart and soul, but he's also very funny. He is this alien creature that has crash landed on Earth and is trying to figure out what his place on this planet is. And he eavesdrops on all kinds of different relationships and people having different relationships. He peers through windows and he aspires to have a connection on planet Earth. And of course, if you've seen any of the trailers, you know that he does make a connection with James Marsden, who is this sheriff or this deputy in this little town, which was actually, I think it might have been Langley, BC or something. I think it was shot in the Vancouver area. It's very charming and it's very quaint, but he aspires to be a little bit more, and somehow he gets interconnected with Sonic the Hedgehog. All the while, the government calls in Dr. Robotnik to pursue this strange phenomena of these big energy bursts that have happened in this town. So there's as much of the spoiler that I'm going to give.
Road trip? Whoop whoop!
What am I doing?
The dynamic between Marsden's character and Sonic the Hedgehog is really heartwarming and a lot of fun. I loved how much Marsden threw himself into this movie. He's a terrific actor, this James Marsden. He of course, played Cyclops in X-Men and just recently in Westworld, but he's such a handsome dude that, he almost looks like a cartoon creation himself, But what was cool is that he didn't throw it away. He's not just kind of half-assing this. He's really invested, and he really looks like he cares about the responsibilities that he has at the beginning of the film, but then his responsibility to his newfound alien friend.
All right, get in the truck.
Really? You're gonna help me?
Jim Carrey, very funny in this. He's got this terrific dance sequence in there. But there is, a slight predictability to what Carrey is going to bring to this performance because we've seen him, be just such a manic physical actor in so many different roles. And so we can kind of guess how he's going to approach Dr. Robotnik. Still, excellent work, very funny.
I just thought you might like a latte with steamed Austrian goat milk.
Of course I want a latte.
I love the way you make them!
But it's not just these three elements. Everybody has got some great works. The wife of James Marsden's got some great stuff.
Pretty much, yeah.
The sister of the wife, the little kid, all elements of this film are working. Even the ancillary characters, background pieces, little supporting roles. I really respected how everybody delivered on this. I loved all of that. I also loved the kind of mythology that they're crafting around Sonic the Hedgehog, and the reality that he comes from before he heads to Earth is really cool. I love the use of the rings. I think that that's a really smart kind of way for, not only this movie to work, but also to create this opportunity for expansion with this universe.
Don't worry, I know exactly what to do.
The movie is filled with fantastic effects. Never for a moment was I really questioning, eye lines or the effect of a CG character intermingled with human characters. I thought a lot of that stuff just worked really, really well. There's moments of people picking up Sonic the Hedgehog or being punched in the face by him. And one of the things that I really appreciated about this movie is that obviously the visual effects people and the movie makers have been paying attention to all of the speedsters that have been on TV, like The Flash or Quicksilver, in the Avengers movie, but also in the X-Men films. We've seen sort of high-speed running on screen done quite effectively, and it has given the filmmakers and the vis effects people in this film to really play with that idea. And there's some awesome sequences in here where Sonic is just whipping so fast that everything seems to stand still, and he's bouncing off of all kinds of objects, and he has a lot of fun with it, and consequently we have a lot of fun with it.
Here comes the boom.
How are you not dead?
I have no idea.
Oh, give me a big fat break!
I thought this was going to be trash. I thought that this was going to be, another missed opportunity with video games, but it's not. And I suspect that the word of mouth is going to be pretty damn good. I know that the audience, there were applause at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog. There were laughs all the way through it. There were some, apart from the opening montage and the sort of connection to what I know of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic in general, there was just some really nice little touches in there, like the da-da-da-da theme that comes in. For me personally, Sonic the Hedgehog and the Sega Genesis were just so instrumental into me recognizing the emotional kind of value of video games and how these games could really become powerful for people. It made me kind of snap too. It was stuff like this that really got me going in my career. And so there is all of this legacy and all of these memories and all of these moments that I feel when I watch a movie that's handled with this much love and respect. And that all was inside as I was watching this movie. But I was also watching it with my daughter, who is kind of new to video games and new to Sonic. And she was like, sort of, I don't know if I want to see this. But I watched her watch the movie, and she had a huge smile on her face, and she really loved it. In fact, let's hear what my daughter Ruby thought of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
It's time to push buttons.
Hey, Ru, what'd you think of Sonic the Hedgehog?
It was pretty good. It was way better than I expected.
What did you like the most about it?
I liked all the rings because I've never seen any Sonic the Hedgehog's other things, so I never knew what all the rings were all about.
Did you enjoy the characterization of Sonic?
Yeah, if I knew what that meant, I'd say yeah, but I don't know. I didn't really like how Sonic's so spiky. It doesn't look good. I'd prefer flat hair. I liked when he got wet. That was so funny.
And did you like how fast Sonic could move and the effects that they did for that?
He was
Was that fun to watch?
Yeah, it was really fun to watch.
What was the thing that made you laugh the most?
When Sonic got splashed with the puddle and he turned pop, super fluffy. It was so funny.
Would you like to see a sequel to this movie?
Yeah, really a lot.
Okay, so what would you give Sonic the Hedgehog?
I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
So there we go. We got an expert opinion right there. Listen, this movie is terrific. If you've been a video game fan for a while, if you've got a Genesis hooked up to your TV or even in your closet, if you have warm memories about playing Sega Genesis or Sonic games over the years, I know that you're going to love this. I also know that if you go and see this with your family members, you're going to have a very good time as well.
I'm wet, I'm cold, there's a fish on my head, and clearly I'm not going to be able to do this on my own.
And honestly, I want people to support this movie because they not only worked really hard to build something cool, but then they took in, which is, kind of a slippery slope, but the filmmakers actually took the opinions to heart and they made a better looking character. And I don't know how much retooling was done in editing or whatever, but there's some really crisp, solid editing, visual effects that really work. And so, I mean, it's definitely cartoony, and it's not like super realistic or anything like that, but it works. All of it works, and this movie is a treat. But for my money, and I think there's some weight there because I've seen all the video game movies and I've played almost all the video games, this is the best movie based on a video game that I have ever seen. I'm giving Sonic the Hedgehog a 9 out of 10.